After spending a couple weeks in the dramatic mountains of the Andes, we are back at sea level. And for the next 2 days, we're exploring Paracas, a coastal town about 3.5 hours south of Lima. Nicknamed the poor man's Galapagos, here you can find a plethora of marine wildlife, including sea lions, tons of birds, and even penguins.
They're so cute!
Plus a coastal desert where golden cliffs clash against vibrant blue water. And we're going to be experiencing this area by both boat and by bike.
As we mentioned, Paracas is nicknamed the poor man's Galapagos, and a big reason is because of the Ballestas Islands, which is a group of rocky islands off the coast of Paracas. And this morning we're going on a 2-hour boat tour to see them.
I am crossing my fingers that we see lots of wildlife, and the number one thing I want to see are Humboldt penguins, because I've never seen a penguin in real life, or I guess out in the wild before.
So you may be wondering why the Ballestas Islands attract so much wildlife. And this is largely due to the conditions created by the Humboldt Current. This cold current pulls up water from the ocean floor, bringing both lower temperatures and nutrients to the surface, making it an ideal feeding zone for fish, which also brings larger predators. In just minutes after arriving at the islands, we caught our first glimpse of one of the area's most famous residents.
They're so cute!
Humboldt penguins only populate the coast of Peru and northern Chile. And with a height of just up to 72 centimeters tall, they may be the cutest little things we have ever seen.
As we continued around the islands, more and more wildlife emerged, including lots of sea lions.
Oh, cute! They're holding each other! So far, we have seen 5 sea lions and 2 penguins and baby birds. This is awesome.
But besides wildlife, there is something else we saw and smelled a lot of: guano, also known as bird droppings. And since the Incas, 11 million tons of guano has been exported from the islands to be used as fertilizer.
As we made our way back to shore, we had one final stop, the candelabra, a prehistoric geoglyph that is estimated to date back to 200 BC. It is 181 meters tall and is large enough to be seen 19 kilometers out at sea. And while the purpose is unknown, there are many theories on its origin and meaning, with some thinking it represents a god's trident, while others think it represents a hallucinogenic plant.
That tour was a lot of fun. It was so beautiful out there. We got to go in the boat just between all these rocks and up close to the islands, and the water was this vibrant clear blue. Even if we didn't see any wildlife, it was totally worth it just for the scenery alone.
There are tons of tour providers in town, and they're basically all the same, but we booked ours for $20 a person on TripAdvisor, which was super easy, and we'll link to it below if you want to book the same one.
Before we continue exploring Paracas, we want to give a huge thank you to LMNT for sponsoring today's video. Throughout this Peru series, we've shared a few times just how much LMNT has been a huge lifesaver when exploring this country, especially when at high altitude. But we're currently at sea level riding bikes through the Paracas National Reserve, which you'll see a little bit later in this video, and the
air here is warm, very dry, and this ride is fully exposed to the sun, so we are chugging LMNT along the way. LMNT is a sweet, salty, and refreshing sugar-free electrolyte drink mix that has 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium, and 1,000 milligrams of sodium, which may seem like a lot, but when you sweat, the main electrolyte that you lose is sodium, and there is research that shows you actually need 2 to 3 times more sodium than the government recommends. We admittedly haven't always been the best at drinking water during our adventures, but LMNT has completely changed that for us. Not only are the flavors delicious and it actually makes us want to drink water, but it helps us reduce headaches, muscle cramps, and fatigue that are common when you get dehydrated. If you want to try LMNT for yourself, LMNT is offering our viewers a free sample pack with any order, which includes 8 different flavors, so you can try as many flavors as possible. To get yours, head to drinklmnt.com/A+K or click the QR code on the screen. And in case you missed it, LMNT currently has a limited edition chocolate medley with chocolate mint, chocolate raspberry, and chocolate chai. These make for the perfect hot winter drink, but they're only gonna be around for a tiny bit longer, so make sure you grab a box before they're gone. All right, now back to Paracas.
For lunch, we came to Triple C, which is a super cool spot with a beachy bohemian vibe right on the street, and we heard they have really good arepas, so we got a couple different to try. This one is an arepa de pabellón, which comes with seasoned ground beef, cheese, black beans, and then fried plantains. And this one's a more simple one. It just has cheese and avocado.
We're obsessed with the avocado here in Peru.
Yeah.
We also heard that they had really good juices, so we got a lime and coconut juice, and it is so refreshing. We have been drinking juices and smoothies almost daily here in Peru because the fruit is just so good. This is like beachy tropical vibes in a cup.
Came with these really good looking sauces. This one is a garlic one. Whoa, that came out fast. Oh my God. That is so good. The ground beef has a good spice level to it. I love the sweetness from the plantains, and then the arepa is so soft and then a little bit crispy on the outside. It's like perfectly toasted.
It's so messy. It's all over me. The flavor is off the chart. That is delicious. I know it might be a crime to say this because it's not Peruvian food, but this might be one of my favorite things we've eaten this trip.
Same here, this is so good.
While here in Paracas, we're staying at Hotel Paracas, which is a super nice resort right on the water. And we are staying here 100% for free because of our Marriott credit card. We don't talk a ton about travel credit cards in our videos, but behind the scenes, they play a huge role in enabling us to travel. Over the years, we've had countless free flights and free hotel nights, which have saved us thousands of dollars. We have a blog post all about our favorite travel credit cards if you want to learn more about which ones we personally have, their benefits, and why we like them. But when we signed up for the Marriott card earlier this year, we were able to redeem the 5-night sign-up bonus plus 14,000 extra points to stay here for $0 out of pocket. And I am 100% in love with this place. From the second we stepped on the property, I've just felt so much joy. We don't really stay at luxury resorts, and just like the smells and just how nice everyone is and just the vibe, I see why people stay at luxury resorts. Our room itself is so nice and spacious with a big comfy bed, a huge bathroom with 2 sinks, which is something we do not have in our van, a shower, a bathtub, and even a bidet, plus an amazing patio that we're trying to hang out on as much as possible. But besides the room, the property itself is gorgeous with 2 outdoor pools, an indoor pool and a gym, a couple restaurants, including a spectacular breakfast buffet. And to be clear, this is not an all-inclusive resort, so we do have to pay for the food, which is a bit more expensive than other areas in Peru, but so far it has all been so delicious. The resort does have some free activities and rentals though, like bike rentals, which we'll be utilizing tomorrow, and kayaks and stand-up paddle boards. And our plan for the rest of the afternoon is just to hang out and relax here.
So our hotel has several restaurants to choose from, but we wanted to try as many local spots as we could. We were originally gonna go to Valhalla, but we walked by and they were unexpectedly closed. So we frantically searched for a plan B and we decided to come to Mia Cerro instead.
Since we're on the ocean, we figured we had to have some seafood while here. We got some ceviche, and then we also got tiradito, which is the dish that we wanted to try the most tonight. This is fish that is sliced very thin, kind of like sashimi, and is served in an ahi-based sauce. It looks so good. It kind of looks like ceviche, but with a different colored sauce, and then the fish is nice and thin. Oh, that is so good. It's so tangy. You get a little bit of a kick from the ahi. I never in my life thought I would enjoy eating raw fish, but the sauce of the ceviche, the sauce of the tiradito, oh, it's so good. I just want to drink the sauce.
I was very curious how this would be different from ceviche, other than the fish being thinner, but it does have a different taste. And then all the other ingredients are very similar with the corn, the sweet potato for sweetness to kind of balance out that tanginess.
So we normally spend hours and hours and hours researching restaurants to try to pick the best places, which is why we always love our food. People think we're lying, but we're not. But tonight was one of those nights where we just had to go sit on a bench and just figure out where to go instead, which can be kind of risky, but the spot worked out, thankfully. This morning we're going to be biking around the Paracas National Reserve, but before we go, we're fueling up at Puerto's specialty coffee in town, which is such a cool coffee stand. It has these delicious looking yogurt bowls, beautiful avocado toast, and flat whites. And they're playing the High School Musical soundtrack. This is awesome.
This avocado toast is almost too pretty to eat. The bread looks so good.
Very beautiful bread.
That's really good bread.
All right, let's go crush some miles.
We just paid the 11 sole fee per person to enter the reserve. And while the reserve is absolutely massive, we're only gonna explore a small part of it. Our plan is to ride a bike circuit that's gonna take us around to a bunch of different beaches and viewpoints.
This is very bumpy! After a pretty long and surprisingly very challenging ride, we have made it to our first beach.
Similar to the Ballestas Islands, Paracas National Reserve is home to lots of wildlife. But what really makes it stand out is the stark contrast of scenery. Here you have endless views of golden cliffs and hills, which contrast beautifully against the bright blue ocean waters. It's where the desert meets the sea and is one of the driest areas of South America, with less than 20 millimeters of rain per year. This rock formation behind me is La Catedral. It was once a large sea arch that extended into the ocean, but unfortunately it was destroyed by an earthquake in 2007. It would have been really neat to see this as an arch, but it's also pretty cool to see it this way because it kind of demonstrates the destructive forces of nature in two different ways. First, through wind and water erosion, creating the arch in the first place over millions of years, but then an earthquake just destroying all that work in a matter of seconds.
So along the route, you can find bathrooms and snack stands, and then further down the route, there's a fishing village that has actual restaurants, but we decided to bring our own lunch today. We picked up some bean and cheese empanadas from Triple C, and they're falling apart. Oh no, they're kind of falling apart, but it's gonna be really good.
They've kind of been through it in the backpack.
Yeah, they've been a little smooshed in the backpack. They've been refrigerated. Now they're out here.
Still gonna taste.
They're not gonna be as good as they would have been fresh, but it was cheap and it's gonna be delicious.
Oh yeah, still amazing.
We have made it to one of the spots we were most excited about, Playa Roja, which is a red sand beach. It gets its color from a rock called pink granodiorite. The sea hits the rocks and then the waves drag fragments of reddish rocks that accumulate on the shore. You can't go down to the beach because it's protected, but I think the view from up here is even better because you can really see all of the colors. It's like an explosion of primary colors. You have yellow, red, and then blue. We've been to a lot of coastal areas, but this is our first time going to a desert ocean, and I am loving it. It is so beautiful out here.
This ride has been a lot more hilly than we thought it would be, but every uphill has a downhill. Here we go.
I told Adam that if we found ice cream today, we are getting it, and we found ice cream.
Nothing makes a bike ride better than ice cream, or really any situation in life.
Yeah.
Can't be made better with ice cream.
The ice cream man just packed up and left within minutes of us getting ice cream. I feel so lucky right now. So we did not finish the full route that we intended to cycle. We still had one more beach we wanted to check out, which is located up that huge hill, which does not look very big in the camera, but it is a steep, steep hill. And over the last two and a half weeks, we've hiked over 80 miles here in Peru, and our bodies are so tired. There's a reason that we saw maybe just a few cyclists today, and pretty much everyone else was in a bus, a van, on a moped, or in these little dune buggy things. And that's because cycling out here is really freaking hard. It has kicked our butts. So we feel very happy with what we got to see today. We got to see so many amazing things. So we're gonna turn around. We made it back in time to enjoy a beautiful sunset from the beach, and a big reason that we're staying at this resort, which is definitely nicer than where we would normally stay, is because tomorrow is a very special day for us, our 10-year wedding anniversary.
I cannot think of a better place to celebrate. Tomorrow we're gonna have the ultimate relaxing day. We're gonna hit up that breakfast buffet. We're gonna hang out by the pool before we head off to one final quick stop here in Peru.
I'm so excited for the breakfast buffet. I can't stand it.
So we're gonna really like stuff ourselves and do our best to get our money's worth.
If we're not about to throw up when we leave, we're doing it wrong.